What's up, everybody? Mark Medina here from IGN. I'm here with Lee Ross. Lee, why don't you tell us who you work for and why you're here?
Well, I work for Infinity Ward. I am the Associate Project Director for Zombies, and I'm here to give you guys a nice tour through Zombies in Spaceland and give you a couple of bits of backstory and maybe a couple of Easter eggs.
Sounds good. All right, let's jump in. Let's do this. So, first off, the 80s.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
I think it was a culmination of the entire team. I don't think any one person really decided it was going to be that. We knew we wanted to time travel, and we kept coming back to the 1980s as being just this really fun,
iconic
unique,
and
yeah, such a unique time period. You know, there was so much going on during that time with entertainment. I mean, if you look at all the classic movies from the 1980s, whether it's E.T. or Goonies or Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I mean, there's just so many that you can think of. Music videos, obviously, Thriller being one of the most popular. There's just so much going on at that time period that we felt that it would be a good fit to bring the theme park to. Not to mention theme parks in the 80s, man. That's really where they took off.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, even if just looking at like your first screen, you're like, where does this take place? Automatically, you see the blue, the neon, the purple. You're like, it's the 80s. How about story? So this one's got it's like a movie theme story mixed with a theme park. So, like, what was your guys' like idea coming up with that story that it would be a movie you're shooting here?
Well, the cool thing about us doing the movie, it just meant that we had the freedom to kind of go anywhere we wanted to. We could jump through time periods. We could run on the surface of the sun if we wanted to.
Sure.
So it just gave us a lot of creative freedom by going into the films. And it allows us to create this really wicked character in Willard Wyler, played by Paul Rubens, that he's just this maniacal director that is putting people into films to kill them, to just get these awesome scenes so that he can come up with the most insane horror film ever made. So it's just a really silly, over-the-top premise. And like I said, the movies just let us go in any direction that we want to, which leaves the door open for some really zany stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So if people didn't know, like, this is Infinity Ward's first foray into the zombie universe, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And what made you guys decide Infinite Warfare, it's great, but it needs zombies?
Well, we knew we wanted a co-op experience. When we made Call of Duty Ghosts, we were the same team that built the Extinction game mode for that game.
Yeah, the aliens, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we knew we wanted to replicate that co-op experience. But it seemed like it was an easy thing to do, to bring aliens to Infinite Warfare. It was, I think it would be expected, given the fact that we were traveling to space. It was sort of this distant future. And there's always this idea, the whole X-Files thing, like, you know, they're out there. It just like it's an interesting place for us to be.
Okay. So you got Neil here. I like Neil. He's nobody can see my screen.
Yeah.
See yours.
So Neil, Neil the challenge bot, he actually can unlock a pretty cool Easter egg, which I'll let you guys know. You can actually get David Hasselhoff to come down from the sky and fight alongside with you, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So it's the ability to get that fifth player into the game that helps even the odds against the zombies when things get really insane. So in the top left, you'll see I have, like, you know, kill zombies while jumping, or, you know, melee kill zombies. If I complete all these challenges, find a couple of parts for Neil, complete a few more challenges, then I'm able to actually call in Hoff for a small amount of money.
Okay. So there are more parts to Neil than just his helmet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things I wanted to show your viewers is that we have Easter eggs just kind of hidden all over the park. And as an example, you know, we have our Employee of the Month map here.
Oh, yeah?
And these are actually all people who work on the game.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
are
these
you there?
I am not in here because I'm not good enough to be Employee of the Month. But the rest of my staff, they're awesome.
That's awesome.
Except for this guy right here, Ryan Jones. I don't like him very much.
We'll take him out.
I'm going to take him out.
That's fine.
Actually, that's a little bit of a hint. There's actually an Easter egg that's tied to those pictures. So if viewers pay attention to all the locations where they find Employee of the Month stuff around, they're going to find some anomalies to some of those, and it's definitely pointing you towards something. So pay attention to those.
Sure.
So anyway, I wanted to go back to talking about the extinction thing.
Oh, sure.
So, you know, it led us to this place where we wanted to take the path that we didn't think people were going to get, right? if you, like I said, if you look at space and you figured where Call of Duty was going with the campaign and with multiplayer, Aliens just seemed like it was an easy fit.
Yeah.
Zombies, though, that's a left field. That's like people. I don't think people saw that coming. And when we first announced that Infinity Ward was doing zombies, I think we got the sort of the reaction that we wanted for people to say, "What? That's kind of a head scratcher." We thought it would just be Extinction 2 or something like that. And so for our team, we don't want to take the easy route. We want to do things that allow us to challenge ourselves and to to do something unique and different. And we thought we could bring something very special to zombies, and I think Zombies in Spaceland proves that fact.
For sure. Like, yeah, it's what's funny is I'm not a huge multiplayer guy. So when I got the game, first thing I did, complete the single player, which is super good, by the way. And then I've been playing just like a ton of zombies with like my wife or my friends, and it's super fun to play. It reminds me, we used to play Black Ops 2 zombies all the time, and it's like there's a lot to do without it being like overly complicated, and so I can kind of wrap my head around it, and the story's self-contained. So yeah, I like it a lot. So we have 3 different areas here. What's the best area? What's the area you like going to first?
Well, for me, for the quickest run is I like to take the Journey into Space route here. Journey into Space is the quickest route to one of the best perks in the game, which is the Tough Enough perk, which basically is just it's gonna give you that armor, that double health, and allow you to take a few more swipes from the zombies. But the interesting thing about these 3 areas is we have these team door buys that we can actually work on opening together. Now, it's $4,000 to open this route, but as you can see, I can put 1,000 in, you can put 1,000 in, and we can kind of whittle away at getting that door open rather than one person having to be saddled with the idea of like, oh, I got to spend $4,000 to open this, but I want to buy a gun, I want to buy a perk. So we wanted to lighten the load on players and bring a little bit of a cooperative experience to zombies where you tend to get a lot of lone wolfing in zombies.
Yeah.
We're really encouraging sticking together, playing together. Whether it's the FNF cards that give benefits to me and to the rest of the team, or it's the team door buy system. We want to make sure that players can benefit from what other players bring to the game.
Absolutely. I don't know if this is like a zombie spoiler. Is this beatable, or do you always eventually lose?
So you can complete the final Easter egg, which will drive the story. It will give you a couple of bits of backstory.
Clowns. Oh,
but zombies is a traditional experience where players want to just go until they can't go anymore, and we want it to be tried and true to that experience. We want to make sure that the player that wants to go to scene 500, if they can do it, we want to allow them to do that.
Sure.
So
okay.
if someone does complete the final Easter egg and they want to keep playing, we want to allow them to do that. We want to let them go on that leaderboard chase and post that to Twitter and Facebook and whatnot.
So what's the highest round? Like you've seen people, like the game's been out for 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
And have you been seeing any crazy strategies that you didn't expect, or like seeing people do crazy things or get way farther than you thought people would get?
Yeah, I think initially we were expecting the community to just kind of unravel everything that we had placed into the game within 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Excitingly enough, there are Easter eggs that people haven't uncovered yet, which is really cool. So we know we hid stuff well. The clues are definitely there and in your face, but people just haven't found it. As for seeing people get to waves that are insane, I saw a guy that had a solo run that got to wave 71 on his own.
Jeez.
And I mean, to get that many scenes deep on your own, that takes a tremendous amount of skill. And I mean, you're playing some heavy Twitch gameplay at that point.
When you're planning all your upgrades from the beginning.
Exactly.
And, yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, some of the other things that we're seeing players do is, players really working well together, and that was something that we were concerned that, maybe players would hoard their money and not open the doors together, or they wouldn't want to fire off their fortune cards to help each other out. But it seems like players are playing really, really cooperatively, and you're seeing people get to much higher rounds because of this.
Sure.
You're on average, we're seeing new people start off, and they're maybe getting to maybe scene 5, 6, or 7, and that's pretty exciting. The fact that they can get that far on maybe their first or even second attempt.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. Let's talk about the. So we got some celebs playing these characters.
We do.
How is it working with like Seth Green and Paul Rubens and stuff like that?
Oh man, it's been a blast. These guys they're so dialed in on the characters and the stuff they bring to the table. The small little antics, the small little anecdotes that they bring have just really brought the characters to life. Each of them, is obviously playing a very different character within this story, and that's actually cool too. That we're bringing these very different personas together, and putting them into this very morbid situation. Zombie apocalypse, survive if you can, and watching them work together for success. It's really cool to see that all happen. It's been great working with each of them, and I honestly I'm really excited to continue working with them. It's been a lot of fun crafting this story, and Paul being the sort of overarching villain to this whole experience. Expect to see and hear more from Paul. He's definitely going to step it up as we move forward through the season.
That was going to be my next question. So obviously it clearly says, and going off past Call of Duty, the way it works is we'll see a DLC pack, and that'll come with a new zombies map, right? Well, I don't know if you can say yes or no, but one could expect that.
We definitely want to keep zombies in front of the players. We have a lot of plans for things that we want to show. Right now, we're really focused on zombies in Spaceland, but there's definitely stuff that we're cooking up. Our team, we're never resting, man. We finish one thing and we're right on to the next. So. Keep your ears peeled, man. There'll be things to look forward in the future. There's still stuff in Zombies in Spaceland that players can find that will give them clues about what's coming next. So pay close attention to what's happening in the Easter eggs and look around this map. There's a lot of things that are just they're little nods that are saying, hey, we're telling you exactly what's happening.
No, that's what you talked about. The reason you went the movie route is obviously we have this Spaceland theme park, and it's like I'm imagining the DLCs, and I'm imagining a Western theme or like maybe not necessarily all theme parks, but we have space, we can do Western, we can do all sorts of stuff. Like you said, the possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting that you mentioned the themes, because that was one of the main drivers for Zombies in Spaceland was, as you go through each one of these areas, we wanted these themes to be inherently different. We didn't want you to, open this door to journey into space and go, wow, this looks exactly like the area I just came from, and it plays exactly like the area I just came from. It's just another side of it. So we wanted these areas to play different, to feel different. So the space area is themed very heavily towards sort of the journey through space, as we sort of landed on the moon and eventually got satellites into space and whatnot. So there's a lot of history of the space shuttle that we have here is actually pointing back at the Challenger. So we wanted this area to really scream that it was paying homage to our space exploration that we've done here.
Okay.
And all the areas are like that. The Kepler area with the sort of the alien village, the Polar Peaks Mountain with its ice theme, and then there's an area that's actually underneath the park, the underground area, that looks like you're literally just behind the scenes of this park, kind of seeing how the magic is made.
Oh, okay. I will admit that my first immediate I don't know how much you guys play Fallout or anything. Fallout 4's Nuka World reminds me a little bit like this theme park. Space, just a little anecdote. It made me think of that.
Right.
And I really like that DLC. So, as far as so we're 3 years out from the next Infinity Ward game. Do you think we'll see zombies again, or is it way too early to even think about what the next Call of Duty has in store?
Well, I definitely think it's early to say what the next one has in store, but I think zombies is really special. I think not only to Infinity Ward and Treyarch and everybody who's working on it, but also to the community. I think this thing has become more than just a sort of a side mode that people pick up because they've completed the campaign, or they pick up because they're taking a little break from multiplayer. This has turned into a massive experience. The rich history that Treyarch sort of built into this and that we're expanding upon. There's just so much more that we can do with zombies. That I think there is certainly room for us to take this into very special places in the future.
I died and I'm in the arcade and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so the Afterlife Arcade, that's actually one of the new additions to Zombies in Spaceland. So what's happening to you right now is you can actually play some parlor games or some classic 2600 Atari games, and by doing so, if you score enough points, you can actually earn your way back to the living. Now, normally you'd have to wait for me to complete this round and have yourself revived, but in this case, if you score enough points and fill your soul meter at the bottom of your screen,
I see.
you're actually able to bring yourself back whenever you are ready and capable of doing so.
The audience can't see, so I'll describe it. Basically, you're in an arcade.
Yeah, you're in an 80s themed arcade.
And
that's exactly it.
Yeah, I'm just playing games, and there's a little bar.
And now we give you, we want to encourage players to keep going and try and get as far as they can. So this is one of those sort of nods to help players get a little bit further. It's not a guarantee that you're going to, get to the Afterlife Arcade and bring yourself back immediately.
Sure.
But it is a, it's a nice little crutch to have in the event that things get really, really tense. Not to mention, when you're down and you're waiting for someone to revive you with the round ending, it could be a really long delay before you get back in the game. So, we took a look at that and we realized we really want to keep players engaged all the time. There's never a point where we want players setting the controller down and saying, I'll come back in 5 minutes or something.
Well, I'm down.
Yeah, we want to keep you going all the time because honestly, the best time you're having when you're playing a game is when you're playing the game.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that players are getting to play the game and stay active all the time.
We've always described it as this like like when you die in a game and it's like done poorly is basically it's like a record scratch moment where it's like things are happening and action and all that, and then all of a sudden it just grinds to a halt and you're like, oh, I'm done.
Exactly.
But you don't get that now because I died and I forgot that I was dead because I was playing Defender or whatever.
Exactly. It really does put you in a different state of mind. I feel like when you get into that state where you die, it can be really intense. And the Afterlife Arcade sort of relaxes you. The games are far less intense, and it sort of gives you a moment to catch your breath and get your bearings again.
Sure.
So our favorite Spaceland mascot has made his appearance, the Brute.
Oh, no.
So the way that we're going to have to take down the Brute is by getting his mask off his face, by shooting him in the mask.
Okay.
Once he gets it off, he can no longer shoot us with laser beams, and we can actually shoot him in the face and cause him real damage. So we can't actually hurt him while his mask is on, so we've got to get that mask off of his face first.
So our goal right now is shoot his face.
Shoot his face.
While staying alive.
Yes. Now, the interesting thing about the Brute is he's unlike all of the zombies. So typically, you complete a wave, you get a sort of a breather in between waves, and then we throw those zombies right back out at you.
Sure.
The Brute, until you kill him, he does not go away. So he'll travel from wave to wave, scene to scene, just tracking you the entire time. And if you don't kill him, a second Brute or a third Brute can spawn as well. So you want to make sure you get this guy off the battlefield as fast as you can, because he will certainly cause you a lot of trouble.
So is there anything about this zombies mode that you don't feel, let's see, how do I put this? You feel like people are maybe missing or it's something you really want them to like know?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of additions that we have that they're sort of front loaded for players, but they're things that you earn while you're playing the game. So as an example, we have the Fate and Fortune cards that you start off with. We're going to give you 6 of them.
Okay.
And once you have, those cards enabled, using them, you're going to gain XP, and as you go through the levels, you're going to unlock new cards. But every game you play, you're going to earn the ability to get keys, and these keys can unlock these crates that give you more cards, and those cards can be really powerful, like being able to spawn the claw weapon, for instance, and actually, let me go to the Afterlife Arcade. I'll be able to show people what that looks like.
Sure. No, absolutely.
You can get the claw weapon with unlimited ammo for 30 seconds, or spawn a nuke right in front of you immediately. Or, there's just tremendous powers, like immediately being able to pack a punch your weapon on the fly.
Oh, right.
So there's some really powerful cards there that can give some great advantages. And I strongly encourage players, to use them, to fire them off, because we give there's a lot of opportunity to get more cards. As an example, just logging in every single day, we give you bonuses, free keys every day just for logging in.
Oh, okay.
So if you log in every day, you're going to earn it, And then if you're, going through, let's say you're playing through maybe 5 to 7 scenes, maybe you level up, you're going to earn another handful of keys, maybe 10 to 12 keys. So you have the possibility of getting a lot of keys that you can spend and get some goodies.
I see.
So don't be afraid to use those keys. And then the second thing is that your weapon progression is actually shared with MP. So if you're playing MP and you're playing with, like, let's say the Banshee, or you're playing with the NV4, one of those weapons that you really like, when you come into zombies, any of the attachments that you have set up for that weapon, they're going to follow you into zombies. So when you buy it off the wall, if it has the smart scope, or it has extended mags, or any of those things,
right,
you're going to be able to have those things in zombies. So it's basically like having a pack-a-punched weapon right at the get-go.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to actually let myself go down so we can head into the Afterlife Arcade here.
I promise I won't help you. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I think the round was complete on the last one. That's
okay. Oh, no.
I'll put a couple of shots in the Broody here.
So we got a nuke that doesn't kill the Brute.
The nuke does not kill the Brute. Traps will not kill the Brute. The nuke will not kill the Brute. Insta-kill will not work on the Brute. You have to take the Brute out yourself.
That's rude.
Yeah, we wanted him to be a menace, and when you see him, we definitely wanted him to put fear into the player, and I think he does the job, especially when you're in a tight area and you see him. It's like, oh boy, I got to get out of here fast.
So we talked about the Afterworld, or I'm sorry, what's it called?
The Afterlife Arcade.
The Afterlife Arcade.
So I'm actually in the Afterlife Arcade.
So now that you're in it, go ahead and.
And I'm playing one of the parlor games, which is actually a nod to the mode that we worked on in the past, which is Extinction. I'm playing Cryptid Attack.
Oh, okay.
Where you get to throw a ball at the cryptid's teeth and knock them out and earn some soul power so you can get out of here.
So how many times can one go to the Afterlife Arcade?
You can actually go to the Afterlife Arcade as many times as you want. However, you can only self-revive from the Afterlife Arcade 3 times in a game.
Oh, okay.
And that goes for solo play, and it goes for multiplayer as well. So it doesn't matter.
Sure. So apparently I was the last one alive, and
holding it down for us.
I got a little cornered there.
That's all right. So we had a little trip to the Afterlife Arcade. We didn't get to see me come back, but basically I could have revived myself and got us into the game really quick. So before I jump us back in, I just want to really quick jump into the loadout and kind of show the Fate and Fortune card stuff that I had talked about previously. So these are the cards that you're going to start off with, these Fate and Fortune cards. But you can go into these cards, and hitting R1, now I'm at my Fortune cards. And these are the cards that are really uber cards. And you notice I don't actually have any of them because I haven't earned any, because I haven't opened any packs on this account. But as an example, here's Get Packed. Your next wall weapon purchase will be a Pack-a-Punched weapon.
Oh, wow.
That's really significant. Because opening up the Pack-a-Punch is usually, you're going to be around wave 7, 8, 9, or 10. So having it at scene 2 or 3, that's an absolute game changer. And this is the other one I talked about, Scratch Post. You get the claw weapon for 30 seconds with unlimited ammo. Now, this has the bullets ricocheting off the walls and bouncing everywhere, and just laying waste to the zombies. So I strongly encourage players to come in and check out the Fate and Fortune cards. Set your Fate cards up. Grind through and unlock the ones that are locked up so you can have access to those. But when you earn these Fortune cards, use them because they're really, really valuable. Okay. And then last but not least is what I talked about was the weapon kits. So as an example, I was playing with the Banshee. So because I played with the Banshee and I ranked it up one level, I can actually add an attachment to this gun, and I can actually add an optic to this gun.
So you can add like red dot sight.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to add the Smart Shot. So when your users see me buy this weapon next, my reticle is going to change, and it's going to have a reticle that can auto-target zombies. So now my gun does this cool stuff without me having to do anything with it in-game. And I'm going to add an extra attachment. So let's add the Fusion Mag so I can get some extra energy stored. And now when I purchase this weapon in the game, you're going to see that I actually have that pumped up version of the weapon.
So in like I had mentioned before, I played like Black Ops 2, and it's like when you die in Black Ops 2, that's it. Like, it's over. So, but in this one, you just because you lost doesn't mean you didn't get anything.
That's
you're
right.
You're earning new cards. You're earning.
That's right.
Okay.
You're always working towards the grind.
Okay, that's really cool.
And so I'll throw out another little Easter egg for you guys here. So these balloons in the starting area.
Oh yeah, I always noticed you could pop them.
You can pop them. You can actually pop all the balloons in the map. But when you pop those, you get a special sound.
Yeah.
Now, in the map, there are certain things that you can do. When you hear that sound, you are working towards one of the Easter eggs that we have in the game.
Okay.
So we're giving you a little bit of information. So that's one step to a very, very big and complicated Easter egg. But the reward for it is very, very promising.
Die, zombies.
And we talked about going down earlier, and getting to a point where you go down and you're kind of out of the game. We have the Lost and Found, where you can come back and you can recover your dropped weapons and your equipment. That's just another way that we want to encourage players to, try to stay in the fight. We have the ATM machines within the park, which players can deposit cash in. So if you do go down, lose cash, you can actually head back to the ATM and pick up some cash so that you can re-equip, grab a weapon off the wall real quick, or return to the Lost and Found and pick up your weapons. If you have pack-a-punched weapons, you're carrying 2 of them, you've purchased some equipment, and you lose all that stuff. Paying $2,000 to get it back is a pretty awesome deal.
It's a small price to pay.
Small price to pay. Considering it, you're spending $5,000 to pack a punch a weapon, plus all the doors you've opened to get to it, and it's a big cash sink. So we have a bunch of different methods that we allow the players to sort of slowly get themselves back into the game.
Well, and then we have we talked. I'm sorry if you said that the ATM makes it where I can put money in and then you can take that money out, right?
Exactly.
And is there a penalty there, or if I put in 500,
no penalty at all.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you can in fact, if you put money in, you can be the same person to pull that money out.
So it can be there, like if you think, like the brute's out and I have 6 G's. Maybe I'll throw it in the ATM just in case he ends up killing me. I can go back and get it, correct?
You got it, exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then as you get to the later rounds, you'll start to find that you just have more and more and more available cash. And that cash, although it seems like you have a lot, if you go down and lose things like your perks, it could cost you $10,000 in-game cash to get all your perks back. So it's good to have that ATM where you can bank that cash and put it away for a rainy day.
Okay. Cool. So, is there anything else you'd want to say about the zombies? You're wanting to show off a weapon, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna work on getting some park tickets. We'll get ourselves into the arcade and we'll show off what's called the Forge Freeze weapon.
Okay.
And what this weapon does is I can actually shoot zombies with it, encase them in ice, and then walk up to them and either shoot them or melee them and shatter them into pieces.
Does it count towards when you get that challenge to get the melee kills?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome. I always wondered, like, you're getting that challenge on round 10, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, with insta-kill or
sure.
Or against the what I would recommend is against the clown waves. So I would pause the Neil challenge. You can walk up to Neil and pause his challenge, and then I would reinitiate it when those waves start up.
I see. Okay.
So you can always walk up to him, pause him, and then you can walk up to him and unpause him at any time.
So we're heading towards Polar Peak, right? Because you said
we're gonna actually head.
Arcade,
we're gonna head
right?
to Journey to Space, like we did
Journey
before. That'll get us one door, and then one more door into that location.
Okay, cool. And we're gonna have a real cool gun.
Yeah. So this center area is actually the stage for where we have the final fight in the game.
Oh, really?
If players pay very close attention to the medallions on the floor that are located all the way around the center portal, those are a very important clue for what you need to do in order to trigger that last fight.
Okay.
And we also one last thing is we also want to make sure that players. So I'm bringing up my inventory screen here, which also brings up the scoreboard. We want to make sure that players know you can actually see what you've collected. So you can see that we've collected Neil's head, and there are 2 more parts for Neil. We also collected 1 part for the SETICOM, and there's 2 more parts for that. So you can actually track and see how far in your sort of progress state you are as you progress through completing the Easter eggs within this mode.
What do we got here? Oh, that's an ammo clip. There's the little glasses, and it says hold to participate. What does that do?
Are you talking about the ones that are dropped that you can pick up?
Yeah, the little shades.
Yeah. Okay. So
we don't have it on screen here, but
yeah. So
it's something I encounter.
If I find a pair, I will toss them on so we can show folks. But that's actually a part that you need to find some of the Easter eggs in the map. Now that's a nod to a movie. We're paying homage to a movie. Oh, there they are. We're paying homage to a movie from the 1980s called They Live. Starring a very famous classic wrestler, Rowdy Roddy Piper, in which he discovers these sunglasses that if he puts them on, he can actually see that the world is not the world around him.
Oh, weird.
And so, as an example, when he looks at at money with the glasses on, the money says, "This is your god." So it kind of reveals that the world is not what it seems to be. And with this, we're doing the exact same thing, except when you look around, the world's monochrome, but there are going to be key items that are going to be in color. And you can only see them when you have the glasses on. So I'll show you an example of what one of them looks like. There's one. Now, if I take the glasses off,
it's gone.
It's gone, and I can't see it. Now, in and around Spaceland, these targets, if you shoot them and find all of them, you're going to be kicking off an Easter egg. Now, you notice I got smacked. That zombie just knocked the glasses off my face, but I can pick them back up.
I love this. I love this idea. It must be fun to be a game developer to be able to just like hide all these Easter eggs just everywhere, and then just like drop all these hints. And it's like, I love those aha moments where you're kind of like, oh, I found this Easter egg, and you're like, oh, you did? Well, of course you did. Here's all these hints, and you're like, oh, I didn't even, like, because I would imagine that's like a common thing for people to stumble upon Easter eggs without seeing the hints that you guys dropped.
Absolutely, and we've certainly seen that. We've seen people come across a part and have no idea what to do with it. We've seen them trigger an event and have no idea what's happening. The clues are there. The clues are certainly there. If you look close enough, you will find exactly what you need to do.
I'm at the caricatures stand here.
Yeah.
And one of these guys looks like you.
One of those guys is me.
Okay.
The guy that had his head chomped into and his brain is exposed.
Yep, that's it.
That's me. That's this guy right here.
Yeah, we had looked
at the. In fact, all of these devs, these are all guys that worked on the game. So this is our level designer, Brittany Maxey. We have Gareth Davies, our QA lead. We have Mike Carlisle, one of our artists. We have obviously myself and Adrian Sandoval, our production coordinator. So all of these different people. And then in the front area, like I showed, we also have the photos of the staff that's featured in and around. We have one more location that we do that. We have the shooting gallery. So if we get to the shooting gallery, either in the Afterlife Arcade or featured in the Kepler area, some of the characters in the shooting gallery are actually members of the team as well.
Okay.
But don't shoot us though. You'll lose. You'll lose points for shooting us.
Really?
Yes. Don't shoot the devs.
They made you a game. Don't shoot it. Oh, we're on the arcade. We did.
All right. So I have the power on in the arcade. I'm gonna wind up shooting some baskets. So what I'm gonna do is get started, and then when it gets dangerous, I'll take off and get away from here. But I'm gonna try and go for 500 tickets so I can pick up that forge freeze.
I'll protect you.
And there's an awesome trap in here, the disco ball trap. It's 750. If you purchase that trap, it actually will summon all the zombies to the dance floor. And, of course, they will break dance.
Of course they will.
It's the 1980s, break dancing.
Why not, right?
Whole new meaning to dance till you die.
Uh-oh.
Clear out some of these guys.
Zombies.
There's also a great assault rifle in here that I'd recommend folks taking a look at. It's the NV4 that's hanging out here in the wall. That is quite possibly one of the best weapons in the game when it comes to headshots.
So have you guys played this a ton as like a dev team? Like obviously, right? Like played together a lot?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are you the best or?
I am nowhere near the best.
No.
We have some really great players on our team. I'll throw one of my guys under the bus, Travis Ramon, who is one of our production coordinators. He is quite possibly from our dev team one of the best players on the team.
Nice.
He's regularly one of our ringers that we set up to show off the wares of the game.
I see. That's really funny.
But it's one of those things where we created something that we feel is so much fun that we're all playing it. I mean, I've already ranked up to, I think I'm ranked 35 or 36 in the game right now. And I mean, I spend every day looking at this game, and I get home and I go, okay, now I want to play it the way I would play it.
Yeah.
And so I've been having a lot of fun just doing that, and just getting into public matches with people and playing with the community, and asking folks what they think about the game, what they like, what they don't like, has been just a whole lot of fun.
Does it make you feel great when people talk about like, oh, I found this really cool thing, or I didn't see this coming, or
yeah, every time we have sort of that aha moment for people where it's like, oh, that's so cool that they did this thing, or I just noticed this little thing over here. all of those moments for us just feel super cool. They're super humbling. Just the reaction from the fan community,
Sure.
From Zombies has just been, they've been so kind to us, and we're super happy with the response, and we are putting our heart and soul into this. So we hope that people are really appreciating the work that's gone into it thus far.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to point out one other Easter egg. So I talked about popping those balloons earlier.
Yeah.
If you notice, I'm in the arcade. In the arcade, we have all these classic 2600 Activision Atari games here. But there's one of them that doesn't look like any of the other arcade games. And I'm going to show you which one that is. That is this game right here. And this is Ghost and Skulls. Now, if you notice, it says insert coins 1 of 6.
Oh.
Now, when I pop those balloons, I inserted one of the coins.
Oh,
There
I
are
see.
5 more ways to activate
be able to play that game.
Now, that's a very special game, and it doesn't play like any other arcade game here in the entirety of Spaceland. In fact, when players get a chance to play it, they'll see that they're part of the game.
Weird.
It's kind of an interesting thing. We're playing a game that's inside a movie, and then you can be inside of a game. So we're like breaking the 4th and 5th walls here.
There you go.
All right, so let's see.
If we want to gain any yardage against these guys,
Once again,
we're gonna need to get the
glasses
power.
on, and what happens when we look around with glasses on? We find these cool targets everywhere. So let me go grab that one. Oh, my glasses got knocked off. You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Yes, they would. All right, so I'm going to go for that target. Look at that. It's hidden in the corner. We're so mean. We're so mean.
No, get off.
All right. We like plasma grenades.
And you
So
said you
I'm
need
gonna
how many tickets? You need
trigger
500.
Yeah, I'm gonna trigger the disco ball trap here so we can get these guys to
Sweet.
all swing into the dance floor, and then I'm gonna shoot a few more hoops here.
I don't know if you're giving a hint here. Is this the fastest way to get tickets in the game?
This for me it's one of the funnest ways.
Oh, okay.
And it is pretty quick because each basket is basically 15 tickets.
Oh, cool.
So if you're really on the money, you can net over 90 to 100 tickets in a single run.
Oh, that trap was really cool.
Yeah, and then also you earn tickets. So I just got 14 tickets because I killed 14 zombies with the traps. Every time you
cool.
kill zombies with traps, you earn tickets as
You
well.
get oh, nice.
So there's multiple ways to earn tickets. So you can actually earn tickets by playing the games in the arcade. You can earn tickets by getting kills with the traps, and you can also earn tickets by completing the Neil challenges.
So let's talk about the portals. You have portals here.
Yeah.
There's one right here.
So the portals are one of the most in-your-face Easter eggs that we have in the game. We wanted the Pack-a-Punch machine to be easy to find and something that a lot of players would be able to come across.
Okay.
If you go through all 4 portals within the map and then return to the center portal, you'll actually open up the Pack-a-Punch room, which will allow you to insert your weapon into a special projector.
Yeah.
And upgrade your weapon, which is really a turning of the tide when you get to those later rounds.
So you just go through the portals?
Yep.
And how do you unlock the portals? By turning the power on?
You reinstate the power, and then once the power is active, there's a panel next to each one. If you come over to it to activate it,
Oh, okay.
the portal triggers itself, it warms up, and then you'll see the image of where it's going to take you. Now, when we have the Pack-a-Punch room open, the portal image at the center will actually change so that it looks like the room it's going to take you into.
I see.
So I just heard that the Brute is going to join us in just a moment here.
Yay.
So let's get ready for him. I'm going to jump off that arcade machine, and I'm going to help take him down.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Here he is.
And
We got to redeem ourselves for last time. Oh, jeez.
Always open to a contract.
Okay, we already got his mask off. So how hard is this guy to take down?
he can be pretty tough. If you can isolate him, he's doable. But let's see if I can take him down here. Oh, I'm down. And I was so close to Forge. So close.
So close. Oh, yeah, you were.
489.
All right.
Highway robbery.
So that is Zombies in Spaceland.
That is Zombies
it's a lot
in
of
Spaceland.
fun. And we didn't. I'm assuming we did not even crack the shell on how much there is to this game.
You know, honestly, we didn't even crack the shell. The peanut's not even out of the bag yet. I mean, there's so much content there. Obviously, I talked about the Pack-a-Punch room and the portals, but we talked about that inventory screen, and we had all those slots for those items that we can pick up.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's 4 weapons in the world that are in plain sight, but you can't get them. You have to assemble them. It's funny because in the 1980s, all the toy boxes came with some assembly required.
Yeah,
Some kid complained that his Transformer had to have the head put on before he could transform.
Yeah,
so anyway,
for sure.
we have that little nod there. So if you look around the map, you'll see that there's those 4 weapons that you can put together. There's that quest. There's obviously a massive boss that you're going to fight in this thing.
Yeah.
There's a UFO sitting up in the side of the Polar Peaks Mountain. I wonder why it's there. And does it possibly come out? And what flies a UFO? I mean, I can only imagine, right?
Yeah.
So
I love your little let's all go to the lobby little thing you got.
Yeah. That was a big thing back in the 80s, man. It was that big concession stand
really
push
cool
to get you to go and get your Coca-Cola and your popcorn.
Yeah, for sure. So is there any parting words? Anything you feel like our audience needs to know before you sign off here?
I think what players need to know is you do not have to be a tried and true Zombies fan to come in and enjoy Zombies in Spaceland.
For sure.
You know, we built a tutorial which we didn't get to experience today. So if this is your first time coming into Zombies in Spaceland, we have something that will sort of hold your hand and take you through the experience and teach you what it means to purchase a weapon off the wall and how you can restock your ammo by returning to that weapon, or what the magic wheels are about and why you want to work as a team to open the team door buys and why you want to complete the Easter eggs and all these various little hints and tips that kind of just go over, you know, a new player's head. You know, every round Zombies get stronger, takes another bullet, takes another melee.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that base and core knowledge is available to everyone, and you can always revisit that tutorial and get that information. So I want players to know that we've built this to sort of be a passion project for the hardcore, all those Easter eggs and all that rich content.
Yeah.
But also, we want that entry level to be there for everybody. We want everybody to be able to jump in here and have a good time. I'm not the best Zombies player in the world, as you guys got to see firsthand. But I really enjoy playing the mode. I love playing with my buddies. I love partying up, and we make it really easy to jump into a party, get together, hop into a game. I mean, it's like a 3-button sequence to be in a party and then into a match together.
Well, and like you said, people who are fans of the multiplayer, you're still unlocking things in Zombies.
Exactly.
So make sure you check that out. And you had mentioned earlier, just to remind everybody, like you can't say anything yet. We're working on Spaceland right now, but keep your ear to the ground for more possible future zombie stuff. And thank you so much for coming and playing this game with me.
Thank you so much for having us.
I love Call of Duty, and I love the Zombies mode a lot. So that is it for Call of Duty Zombies in Spaceland. The game's out now. It's for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And if there's nothing else, I think we're good to go. So for everything else, Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, multiplayer, single player, or zombies, keep it right here on IGN.
Thanks, guys.